Hello everyone, this is Osiris Frost. This past week, CIG released the Hercules Starlifter backer Q&A. I'm going to be covering that document in this video, but this is the third in a series of videos on the Hercules. If you haven't seen parts 1 or 2 yet, I have them in a playlist with this one, so go ahead and check those out first. Now onto the Q&A. Question: how can an outpost defend itself against a bombing from the Hercules A2? Answer: players can protect themselves from air attacks by setting up anti-air defenses. As far as destroying an outpost goes, that's something we're looking into, along with the ramifications it would have on the law system. Question: what is medium and heavy armor when talking about ships? Answer: light, medium, and heavy indicate the general degree of additional protection the armor gives to the ship. Each armor type offers different resistances, but it also has an impact on the weight of the ship. Question: does the Hercules have beds, a bathroom, and a kitchen? Answer: all variants have 3 beds for the main crew, as well as a small kitchen area and a single toilet shower combo. The Hercules is not made for long, comfortable journeys through space, so it doesn't need anything more luxurious. Now, previously they seemed to indicate that this ship was a long-distance hauler. This could just be an awkwardly worded answer. They may have meant that the Hercules is not meant for luxury touring, but rather utilitarian transport. But it's easy to read this and come away with the idea that it's not a long-range vessel. I'm going to assume that this is just poor wording and that it still is a long-range vessel. Question: does the Hercules have entrances other than the large ramps, or will the cargo bay have to be decompressed every time you need to exit the ship? Answer: players can get into the Hercules either using the ramps or via a small lift around the middle of the cargo bay. From there, you can either go to the ground level, the cargo bay, or the cockpit. Question: can we expect to see bomb racks and bays for other ships too, like the Retaliator, or are bombs limited to the A2 and other future ground assault ships and vehicles? Answer: at the moment, only the Hercules A2 and future ground assault ships are planned to have bombs. However, we're looking at ways of allowing a few select ships we've already announced or released, like the Retaliator, to transport and use bombs, although they may not be able to carry the impressive size 10 bombs like the Hercules. Now, I've never flown a Retaliator, but I think that the torpedo storage is already configured for carrying gravity bombs, meaning that it has doors that open on the underside of the ship, so I would expect to see gravity bombing of some nature become a thing for the Tally at some point in the future. Question: for cargo running, what advantage does the C2 Hercules have over the cheaper Starfarer that uses cargo pods in place of fuel pods? Answer: external cargo pods, as featured on the Starfarer, are more exposed and vulnerable than those on the Hercules. Plus, the Starfarer isn't made to transport vehicles, which is the main point of the Hercules. Except that the Starfarer can fit multiple Cyclones or Ursa rovers, so this just isn't that accurate. The only thing that the Hercules can move that a Starfarer can't is a Nova tank. Question: how did size 10 Moabs compare to size 10 torpedoes? Answer: in terms of size, the bombs are larger than the torpedoes. These bombs are also unguided, offer a wider damage radius, and higher damage. Like missiles and torpedoes, bombs might have different specs in the future for different damage types and situations. Question: how do the interior living quarters compare between the ships? Are the C2s more livable compared to the Spartan cabins of the M2 and A2? Answer: in terms of functionality, the interior living quarters are the same between all variants of the Hercules Starlifter that use the M2 as the base. However, like some other ships having military variants, it's possible that the materials might differ. Question: can you tell us more about the 6 hardpoints of countermeasure of the Hercules? Answer: like every other ship, the Starlifter has several countermeasure launchers at strategic placements around the body. Due to its size and shape, the Starlifter has 6 launchers installed, compared to the 4 of the Starfarer. There are 2 near the rear cargo bay, 2 next to the landing gear, and 2 on the rear wings. Question: if you drop a gravity-assisted cluster bomb in space, can you create a minefield? Answer: it depends on how we make the bomb detonation work. Currently, we're thinking that they will trigger on impact. However, we will look at proximity and time later on. A mine layer is an idea that CIG toyed with several years ago. I haven't heard much about it since, but it would be interesting to see if that's something they're still considering. Question: what is the smallest size pad that the Hercules can land on, and will it fit onto pads of small/medium rest stops and orbital stations that are coming into the game? Answer: the Hercules Starlifter, like other ships of similar size, will only fit on large landing pads. Question: how does the C2 medium armor compare to the Starfarer Gemini upgraded armor? Answer: the Starfarer Gemini's upgraded armor is a heavy model, akin to the Starlifter M2. The Starlifter C2's medium armor is similar to the regular Starfarer's armor. Question: how can the C2 survive a defensive engagement with only 2 medium coolers to cool and 2 large shield generators when similar ships like the Starfarer and Gemini and Genesis and Caterpillar and Carrack all have 2 large coolers to cool only 1 large shield generator? Answer: while it's better for anyone flying a C2 to have an escort nearby, this configuration should still last long enough to get away or call for help. The other ships mentioned all have to use their power in ways that the Starlifter doesn't, be it to run life support, computers, or other modules. And this is the thing with Item System 2.0 that's coming into the game. If you have a huge ship like the Hercules, but you can shut down non-essential systems in the cargo area during flights, then they're correct. You don't need the same amount of power. Question: what are the specific roles of the 3 crewmen on the M2? Answer: the crew roles on the M2 are similar to other ships of the same configuration. 1 pilot, 1 co-pilot that has access to some of the remote turrets, and a dedicated gunner that has full control of the turrets. Question: is the cargo space in the A2 usable for normal cargo if the bombs aren't equipped? Answer: the A2 has half the cargo space of the M2. When bombs aren't equipped, the bomb ordnance system is still present, so it's impossible to store cargo in this area. However, you can still put 234 standard cargo units, or SCU, in the front half of that ship. That's if you don't decide to put a Tumbril Nova tank there instead. So with that, my recommendation does not change. The Hercules is a cool ship with interesting variants and a lot of interesting gameplay implications, but it's definitely overpriced. This is something that I'm likely to pick up in game with the UEC, probably the M2 variant, but I won't pledge for it. If you feel differently, the concept sale is running through June 14th over on the RSI store. That's all for today's show. Thanks for watching. If you're new to Star Citizen, or you know someone who's thinking of playing, you or they can earn 5,000 UEC on your account by registering with my referral code, which you can find in the show notes down below. If you have any questions, feedback, or episode suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.